So what can regular folks like us do? Our job is to make noise. We can't have a repeat of 2016, where individual Bernie supporters scattered across the country decided in their heads that they weren't going to vote for Hillary Clinton, and then revealed that decision on Election Day. That won't do. It wasn't even that many people on the left. Hillary lost because she was hemorrhaging conservative Democrats in the Midwest. That had nothing to do with Bernie supporters. And we're not trying to get Trump reelected. We're trying to force Joe Biden out of the race. If you're not voting for Biden, declare it now, not 3 months from now, right now. Do it online, do it in real life, say something. Tell your family, tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell Twitter, tell Facebook, call into political talk shows, leave comments in YouTube videos, tell the Democratic Party, tell all the people who work at MSNBC, CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post, any Democratic elected officials who represent you at any level of government, in any branch of government. You tell them that you are not voting for Joe Biden, and if they're up for re-election and they support Biden, you're not voting for them either. What should you say? Keep it direct and matter of fact. Keep it classy. Don't rant and rave like I'm doing. Don't curse like a sailor. Don't be a bigot. Don't say anything racist, misogynist, xenophobic, homophobic, Islamophobic, or anti-Semitic. Most importantly, do not threaten anyone with violence. I can't believe I have to say this, but don't threaten women with sexual violence. Don't threaten men either, but don't threaten women. Just make a simple declaration. You could say, don't vote for Joe Biden, or I'm not voting for Joe Biden, he needs to drop out, or I'm a Bernie supporter and I'm not voting for Biden, we deserve better. You could do hashtag Bernie 2020, or I'm voting for Bernie in November. Phrase it however you like, but say something. One more thing. My instinct is that it's a really bad idea to get into protracted arguments with people, online or in real life. Just make your point, which is that you're not voting for Biden, and any other details you might want to provide, and then walk away. Other people can listen what you have to say or to what you have to say or not. They can agree or disagree with you. But when you get into a debate with someone, what you are telling them is that their opinions are valid. They're not. So walk away. If you would like to cite some reasons why you're not voting for Biden, that would be great too. Unfortunately, I don't think issues matter right now. If they did, Bernie would be the nominee. But this election, as it stands right now, is strictly a referendum on Trump. 4 years ago, Hillary Clinton got hammered for trying to make the election all about Trump by the Republicans and by the left. But Joe Biden is one lucky son of a gun. He gets to hide in his basement and say that Donald Trump is a poopy head, and everyone is like, yes, that's what we've been waiting to hear since 2016. So if you want to get into Biden's positions on healthcare, climate change, the economy, etc., that's fine. It's still an angle worth pursuing, but I just don't know that it's going to move anyone in the center-right area. Bernie already did all the hard work. He got the vast majority of Democratic voters, and even a majority of Republicans to agree with him, but he couldn't get a majority of voters to vote for him. I think the best angle to play is the cognitive decline. It's not ideological. If we don't make fun of him for it, it's not even personal. We're just concerned citizens who are not comfortable voting for someone in rapid cognitive decline. We're applying the same standard that Democrats have applied to Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton tried to make that argument 4 years ago. I found it quite compelling. She even had an ad with a guy who used to work in one of the missile silos. He said that the thought of Trump getting the nuclear codes scared the crap out of him. But Republicans didn't care. The thing is, I don't think people understand, the president's use of the nuclear arsenal is a completely unchecked power. There is no legal way to stop that process once it is in motion. President Biden does not need permission from anyone. He does not need to warn anyone. He does not need to consult with anyone. No one in the military, no civilians, no advisors, no cabinet secretaries, not the vice president. He does not need a declaration of war from Congress. He does not even need to tell Congress. And most frighteningly of all, he does not need any provocation. If he feels that a situation, real or imaginary, warrants the use of nuclear force, it is his decision and his alone. There is no legal mechanism to stop him. The only illegal way to stop him that I am aware of is a military coup. But my understanding is that the people who man the missile silos and the nuclear-armed submarines are selected for those positions because it is believed that they will follow orders. If what I just said scares you, you should be scared. You should be terrified of what might happen starting January 20th. And you should also be worried about the senile lunatic who's in charge of the nuclear arsenal right now. You remember that guy? The guy who wondered aloud if he could nuke a hurricane? And Trump's mental decline is far less advanced than Biden's. Joe Biden doesn't even remember how many grandchildren he has. I think the cognitive decline is definitely the best way to get through to Democratic voters and the propaganda outlets. They need to be scared and ashamed that they are supporting someone they know is not fit to serve. They're being irresponsible. And it's also possible that a lot of voters haven't been paying attention to Biden. He's been allowed to stay in hiding. All the focus has been on Trump. It's possible that a lot of Democrats would be genuinely surprised to discover just how out of it Biden is, but they have to be confronted with that reality. I wish that Biden's treatment of women mattered more. Many months ago, I would have thought that the Anita Hill hearings alone would have been just about disqualifying for Biden. The rape allegation should have been catastrophic, given the era we live in, but it just wasn't. If you would like to revive that issue, go for it. As for policy matters, again, I don't think that they will move anyone who says they just want Trump gone, but it's still worth trying. We need a multi-dimensional campaign. We've got to empty out the toolbox. Everything is on the table. Biden's record as a senator, his record as vice president, the statements he's made on the campaign trail, his inappropriate touching of women and children, his treatment of immigrants from Latin America and civilians in the Middle East. I think that pounding the issues would be much more effective against Biden's defenders on the left. I mean, it must make their skin crawl every time they have to shrug off one of the offensive things he says or sell people on the idea of Biden is less bad than Trump. But those people need to be made more uncomfortable. They need to feel embarrassed and ashamed about defending him. Every day they need to answer for what he's done and the complete waste of 4 or 8 years that a Biden presidency would be. Go ahead and say things like, I'm not voting for Biden because I believe in Medicare for all, and he won't allow it. He's been very clear about that. If you want to be really grim, you could even put it like, I'd rather waste 4 more years on Trump than 8 years on Biden before this country starts doing the right thing on healthcare or pick your issue. Biden's a nightmare on all of them. We already know if he becomes president, Medicare for all and the Green New Deal are off the table. Minimum 4 years. Do we have that kind of time? Criminal justice reform is also not happening. Biden is a law and order guy. Were you hoping that he would end our involvement in Iraq and Afghanistan? Not happening. Canceling debt, medical debt, student loan debt, he doesn't care. Free college? Biden is a Republican. He's not giving you things for free. Perhaps our teammates on the left need to be reminded of this. Whatever issues are most important to you, whatever you're knowledgeable about, go with it. I don't understand how trade deals work, but Hillary Clinton took a lot of heat for the TPP thing and NAFTA, which I'm not sure she had anything to do with. Why isn't Biden? Every time he gets an opportunity to say something not racist, he says something racist. He's still defending the crime bill to this day. He should take heat for that too, and so on and so on. As Anna Kasparian once said, Joe Biden is a target-rich environment. And remember, anything that Obama did as president, Biden's responsible for that too. It was his choice to limit his campaign message to, I'm not Trump and I'm friends with Obama. That should be a big problem for Biden. Let me be more blunt about that actually. Trash Obama. One of my pet peeves about the left is that people are too kind to him. I think it's a residual effect of the whole Republicans bad, Democrats good nonsense. It's not right. Also, he's going to have to campaign for Biden. It might undercut the effectiveness of that if Obama has to spend time defending his own bad policies. So do what you can with the resources you have. If there's a particular issue that you're passionate about, focus on that. If you like to do social media, do that. You can be yourself. You can impersonate normie Democrats and say things like, I voted for Biden because I thought he was the best candidate to defeat Trump, but now I'm not so sure. Or I didn't realize how out of it Joe Biden was. Or I voted for Biden because of electability, but I actually kind of like some of Bernie's ideas. Maybe I made a mistake. None of those sounded believable. Make it believable. If you really want to get down in the weeds, you could try working on the establishment Republicans who might be thinking about voting for Biden. We're trying to convince left-wingers that he's a Republican, which he is, but there's also benefit in convincing Republicans that Biden is like the president of Antifa. If you're going to a protest, first of all, wear a mask. Second of all, you could make a sign that says, I don't know, don't vote for Joe Biden. We deserve better than Joe Biden. Or Bernie 2020. If you're an artist, draw a picture and put it on Pinterest. If you're a musician or a singer, record a little song. If you're reviewing a book on Amazon, your review can just be, don't vote for Joe Biden. If you like to comment on YouTube videos, do it. It doesn't matter if it's a political video, a makeup tutorial, a gaming video, or Good Mythical Morning. Just get the word out. Start normalizing phrases like, don't vote for Joe Biden, and we deserve better than Joe Biden. As long as what you're doing is legal, and you're conveying the point that you're not voting for Biden, it is helpful. There's no gesture that's too small. It all adds up. We have to make so much noise that the Democratic Party and the mainstream media can't just pretend this isn't happening. MSNBC needs to have a nuclear meltdown. Someone on the network has to end up calling us Nazis and get fired for it. That's how we'll know we're on the right track. We have to trash Biden all day, every day. It's all hands on deck. Anyone can do it. It doesn't matter if you live in a red state, blue state, swing state. Say something. The powers that be within the party, Democrats running for office, all those suburbanites who say they just want Trump gone, they need to understand that the price they must now pay for the privilege of voting Trump out of office is a Bernie Sanders presidency. That's the trade. We get the presidency, they get to vote Trump out of office. This is not a negotiation. If we do not get our way, it's 4 more years of Trump. Biden just became unelectable. The choice for Democrats is now between Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. Biden is no longer a viable candidate. A vote for Biden is a vote for Trump because Biden is not going to be president. But the Democrats have to be forced to choose between Bernie and Trump. They cannot be allowed to have Biden as an option because they'll choose him and we'll split the vote, which will get Trump reelected. That's not what we're doing. We're trying to prevent that by forcing Biden out of the race, which is why noise is so important. The Democrats have to be overwhelmed by the volume of people who are saying that they will not vote for Biden under any circumstances. And if, given the choice of Bernie or Trump, there are Democrats who say, yeah, maybe 4 more years of Trump isn't so bad, so be it. We'll just label them Trump supporters and shame them for that. All that whining they've been doing about Trump for the last 3.5 years was just an act. Is it hypocritical of us to call them Trump supporters? I don't care. They're willing to vote for a senile Republican either way. They should be shamed for that. I just want to make one little note here. There may be normie Democrats out there who genuinely do want to vote Trump out of office and would be perfectly willing to vote for Bernie if he were the nominee. They may have believed Obama was acting in good faith when he sent out the transmission about Biden being the electable one. I don't know why they would have believed that. Biden is a train wreck. Maybe they weren't paying attention and just wanted to be told whom to vote for. If those voters are out there, we need to find them and get them to join us in calling for Biden to drop out.